Hey, Beetley here. Been a while since I've said that. So, last video, I went over all the characters from Melee and Brawl, except Pit, we'll get to that, and what a D-made moveset would look like. If you didn't watch that video, please do. Please. No, but seriously, this video is a continuation of that video. All the rules are explained in that video, and I'm not going to repeat them here. Okay, you know what, here you are. Just promise you'll watch the last video. So, on today's episode, we'll tackle the characters in Smash 4 and Ultimate. With all that said, here we go. Bowser Jr. didn't join the Mario series until Sunshine, so why are we talking about him? Well, his alternate costumes are the Koopalings, who were introduced in Super Mario Bros. 3, a game created in 1988. So, firstly, Bowser Jr. will be excluded from here. Now with the leader gone, who will lead the Koopalings? You. He's usually the forefront of the Koopalings' antics, and he's the first boss in a couple games. So with his recognizable status, he'd probably be the easiest pick. Now, we can only choose 3 more Koopalings for an alternate costume. Granted, back in the day, alternate costumes were not chosen to reference anything. Instead, they were just either red, blue, yellow, or green to signify which color team you were on. But I'll make an exception for this one moment. The 3 Koopalings I'd make alternate costumes would be Ludwig. He's the oldest and smartest of the Koopalings. Also, he looks different enough from the other Koopalings that he would look unique among his siblings. Also, he has a very popular Twitch channel, Iggy. His body shape wouldn't be hard to copy off of Larry's, Wendy. She'll end up being the red costume. I chose her because she looks vastly different from everyone else. She'll stand out in a 4-player match with her bow and large lips. Now, for the special moves. The neutral special and down special stay the same. While the side special gets removed, both cannons and Mecha Koopas were in Mario 3 and Mario World, so we won't have to worry about doing too much. But we will have one change. Bowser's Clown Car will act more like it does in Mario World rather than Smash Bros. Instead of the self-destruct up special we have now, we'll make it so that the car jolts upward and propels itself back on the stage. After the recovery, the Clown Car will make a noise like it's out of fuel. Then it will fall down to whatever is under it. All the while the Koopaling is desperately anxious to wherever the car will land. If it's back on the stage, they sigh in relief. If not, well, now they have a reason to be worried. I know Palutena existed before Smash 64, but she was literally a damsel in distress. She played zero role in anything other than being a MacGuffin that breathes, so I'm just gonna skip her. Little Mac, the boxer from the Bronx, has had one game come out since the N64 on the Wii. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of his character comes from, so obviously his design has to change. He's going to look more like he does in Brawl. What's that? Little Mac wasn't a character until Smash 4? Well, my friend, I believe you forgot about the assist trophy. Feast your eyes! You see, not all redesigns are bad. Alright, enough bullying fictional characters who could kick my ass. His specials stay the same. There are 2 things that change though. 1, his side special gets removed. No real reason, I just don't like the look of it. 2, his KO punch gets removed because it was introduced in Punch-Out Wii, and because it breaks our gimmicks rule. There's no way the original Smash, with how basic the characters are, would have a gimmick like that. So I know I did the whole alt thing for Bowser Jr., but that's a one-time thing, so Little Mac now loses the wireframe Little Mac due to the original Smash not having any real unique alternate costumes. Duck Hunt, another character who came straight from the NES. Here I choose to can his down special, only because with less characters on screen, the game will run smoother. Mega Man is keeping his neutral attack as a Mega Buster. I thought about changing it, but Jigglypuff's up B is kind of strange, and Ness's up B is also kind of strange, so there were some weird gimmicks in the original Smash Bros. But now, we choose between his specials. Since this character comes straight from the NES, there's not much to change. Every move remains the same except Clash Bomber Sacrificed. Pac-Man's turn. Firstly, his up air. Why that move in particular? Because it's based on his flip kick from Pac-Man World 2. But it's not like we have that many moves to replace it with. I mean, how many Pac-Man games have been out by 1998? 13? 13 games? I gotta look through 13 games for an up air? Alright, stupid idea time. His up air is gonna be the slingshot from Pac-Man 2. You know, the game where you bully Pac-Man to complying with your demands. Yep, he shoots his slingshot a short distance upwards to cause okay damage with minimal knockback. Amazingly, the only other change to his moveset will be getting rid of his neutral special. Unlike the other 2, it doesn't reference anything from the games. So, side special now becomes neutral special, and his down special stays the same. Now, I'm not sure Pac-Man would be the Namco celebration he is today, so even though the map he's around then, I think the original N64 Smash would use exclusively Pac-Man related moves for him. I say we make his up B the glider from Pac-Man 2. It will be a good recovery, but will be hard to control, sort of like Steve's Elytra from the new Smash Bros. Hey, it's Ryu, from Streets, and Ken. First and foremost, none of his gimmicks get added. The button combinations and always facing and two-player gimmicks will be taken out to make Ryu, and Ken, a more simplistic character in this version. Both Shotos will keep Hadouken as their neutral special, Shoryuken as their up special, and focus attacks as their down special. On to Cloud, Hold it! You probably were just about to write an essay on how I'm an idiot because focus attacks were added in Street Fighter 4. The next thing you're gonna say is, the Tatsumaki Senpukyaku should be The next thing you're gonna say is, the Tatsumaki Senpukyaku should be his down special. Yes, you're right. The fucking tongue twister move will become his down special. The final character from Smash 4 on this list is Cloud Strife. A character that was barely expected to be in Smash 4, nevertheless the original. After what Square did in Nintendo, Cloud being in the original Smash Bros. Would have probably been as likely as Capcom remembering Power Stone. One day, buddy. As I brought up in the last video, his limit bar will be taken out. But I also want to take this a step further. I don't think Cloud will have any of his previous specials, except for his up special. Not because they weren't around, but because I believe that he would probably be more likely to represent the Final Fantasy series as a whole, rather than just 7. So I believe instead of the limits, Cloud will utilize his famous spells in the series. Starting with his neutral special. In the beginning of the game, he has lightning magic, so it only makes sense to transfer that into his moveset. His neutral special will be him summoning a quick bolt of lightning to strike in front of him. It does fine damage and is good for knockback, but suffers from its lack of range and minuscule hurtbox. Now we don't have much of an idea for his down special, but intriguingly enough, even though it's a famous RPG and even video game trope, not a lot of characters in Smash use healing magic. I believe to make Cloud somewhat of an interesting character, his down B will be Cure, a move where he has to sit still and restores percent over time. Hey y'all, post-editing Beedily here. The original down special for Cloud was originally going to be Cure or something like that, but I completely forgot about Final Fantasy's summon system, which has been in almost every game. So I think that would be a better down special for Cloud, rather than Cure, as it would harken back more to the Final Fantasy series, and wouldn't be annoying to fight against, because Cloud would be constantly healing himself. Immediately out. Also, no Advent Children costume. As easy as it would be to make Daisy a clone character for Peach, I feel that would be disingenuous. I mean, why is Toad her neutral special? She doesn't rule over the Mushroom Kingdom. Are those war prisoners? Toad, blink twice if you're okay. Back on topic, Daisy can't float in any of her games, and she hasn't been anywhere near Radish, so I think it's time for a remodel. 1. She no longer has the ability to float. 2. We're letting Toad free. He's got a family, he's got bills to pay. Instead, Daisy will use her tomboy attitude and sports knowledge for her neutral B. She will use a tennis racket and a ball to hit her opponents. Like Wario's new golf move, there's a bar above her, but instead of measuring power, it measures the angle, whether she hits high or low. Of course, like Wario's golf club, while this happens, she's a sitting duck, but it can be performed in the air, but it will always be shot downward. Remember Super Mario Land? That's where Princess Daisy made her debut. And in Super Mario Land, Mario has Super Balls. Quit laughing. Now these function like fireballs, and Super Mario Land has never been referenced in any of the characters' movesets. Well, now that changes. Daisy has Super Balls. Stupid, what the fuck? As her down B. They are thrown like Mario's fireballs in the original game, except they have longer range and less damage. And 4, Peach Bomber is taken out entirely, and Daisy keeps the parasol. Hopefully all of that will be a pretty simple and realistic enough old school moveset for Daisy. And if you hate it, fuck it, make her a clone for Peach, then complain when the game has too many clone fighters. Piranha Plant is an interesting contender. The forward smash gets the spikes removed as they don't gain spikes until Super Mario Galaxy 2. It keeps his neutral up B because those came from games beforehand. But now we need a down B. Since he'll already be projectile heavy, I propose an interesting twist. His current neutral B is his down B, and his new neutral B will be him shooting a fireball akin to Mario Bros. 3. This projectile will be easier to control and launch, along with having a medium range, but it will have slow speed and only 2 can come out at a time. King K. Rool is up, And luckily, once again, his moveset won't change that much. His forward smash has his glove taken out, as it doesn't appear until Donkey Kong 64. Keeps his belly armor gimmick on him, along with keeping his neutral B and up B the same. The one move that changes is that his side B becomes his down B. This happens because his down B isn't really a clear reference to anything in the series, unlike the side B, which comes from the iconic SNES boss fight. One more thing, his down throw now just slams opponents on the ground, instead of having them underground. I don't believe that opponents being buried underground was a mechanic until Melee. It seems villains are popular because next is Ridley. Most of Ridley's movesets harken back to the old days of his character, which is why he keeps his up special and neutral special. Apparently his down air and dash attack are both possibly based on Metroid Prime, so these will be replaced with different moves. His dash attack won't be too specific, maybe a slash or a tail whack, or I don't know, have him sing a song or something. His down air will probably be the tail skewer attack from Super Metroid. Back to the interesting part. Since command grabs weren't a common thing in the original Smash Bros., I choose to abandon Space Pirate Rush, which sounds way too much like a Mountain Dew flavor. Unfortunately, we can't use Skewer, as it's either a reference to Other M or Metroid Samus Returns, two games that were released way after our deadline. So with what we have to work with, I think a good down special for Ridley would be that little pogo move. How it'll work is Ridley performs his own version of the Bowser Bash by jumping in the air and slamming his skewer down to unsuspecting opponents, which will cause massive damage. During these frames, he'll gain super armor, but have a smaller hurt box than Bowser Bomb due to him just slamming his tail instead of his entire body down. Another character from an 80s franchise that is constantly forgotten, Simon Belmont keeps all of his moves. Only difference with him is that his axe is removed. Cross is neutral special, and Holy Water is still his down special. We're cutting it close to the uppercut though. Luckily, Symphony of the Night comes out in 97, so we're fine. Wait a minute. No! His down air is from 2011. Now what are we gonna do? Oh, I got it. Perfect. Next, Richard. This character was the most surprising to me, considering he's not even from a... Oh, whoops, I meant Richter. Instead of making him a clone, I believe that we should make him use other weapons and abilities from Rondo of Blood. His neutral special will be the axe, his up special stays as the uppercut, and his down special becomes Dagger, which will be faster and have more range than the cross, but does less damage and has no multi-hit capabilities. Also, the down air. All better. Hero is up. This won't be too hard because we're getting rid of his down B gimmick with all the magic attacks. First is strictly Dragon Quest III's hero with some color alts. His forward tilt and dash attack are both replaced with something else as they both reference Dragon Quest XI, but now it's time to replace the specials. His neutral B returns to being Frizz, except this time instead of Frizz to Frizzle to Kafrizz. My god, these names. It only goes from Frizz to Frizzle, as Kafrizz was introduced in 2010, meaning the fully charged attack will now be slightly shorter and do less damage. This same structure will be applied to his new down special, Zap, which goes to Zapple. His up B also stays the same. Whoosh, if charged for long enough, will transform into Swoosh. Now we won't have to deal with the nightmare of narrowing it down to one move for his down B. Here's an interesting fact. Banjo and Kazooie were once considered to be in Melee, but were booted out during development. Other characters were considered, like... Yo, what the fuck? Oh, it was just a rumor. Oh, imagine. There's an alternate universe where James Bond pulls out a Glock and does a zero-to-death combo on Mario. I mean, granted, in real life you don't even need a combo. A Glock will zero-to-death you pretty well on its own. Where was I? Right, Banjo-Kazooie. Any callbacks to Banjo-Tooie goes Banjo-Kablooie because Banjo 2 wasn't released yet. His specials will work like this. He keeps every special except Wonder Wing. Wonder Wing. Though his down special only shoots normal eggs due to grenade eggs being introduced in Banjo 2. That's about it really, there wasn't really much to change. Are you okay? Because it's Terry's time to shine. No, but seriously, are you okay? Man, if you want to talk about it, you can just... Like Ryu, all of Terry's gimmicks are stripped off of him, and he's left being a shell of his former self. His up, neutral, and down special are all the same, while both side specials are gone to the wayside. And yes, his go meter is gone. As Cloud was the representation of the whole Final Fantasy, Sephiroth will be the representation specifically for 7. I know that a lot of his basic movements are from Advent Children, but since most of them are really just him swinging his big-ass sword in various directions instead of a direct callback, I'll just turn a blind eye to it. More importantly, we have his specials and gimmicks to hit. First thing first, the wing gimmick is gone. Now on to more pressing matters. First, the neutral special stays. All 3 flare moves were created before Final Fantasy VII, so we're good there. It'll even function virtually the same as it does in the new game. For his down special, we'll get Shadow Flare, which instead of the way it works in Smash currently, will function more like Final Fantasy VII. He collects orbs in a spot nearby to him. Over a short period of time will construct a structure, which will then explode for high damage. It will need to be charged like Giga Flare, but it takes less time and he can also cancel mid-attack. Its main drawback will be its smaller range and hurtbox. Unfortunate as it is, Octo Slash was not Sephiroth's move until later in the series, so we'll need to change that to something a tad different. Now I said we get rid of the wing gimmick, but I said nothing about the wing itself. My way of doing this is getting him to flap his wing once so he can jolt through the air in a quick burst. If you're having trouble imagining this, here's a move from PlayStation All-Stars to give you a clear image of what I'm entailing. Hopefully you can see where I'm coming from. Its distance won't be as good as Octo Slash, but there's no charge-up time for it. His victory animations will all have to be reworked so that they're more normal. And now, for the bad news. Because of the N64's lack of real unique costumes, shirtless Sephiroth will no longer be an alternate costume.
No! Don't pull! No! Ah!
I'll give you a moment to cry about that. Kazuya is here to whoop your ass. Literally. Don't go outside, he can smell fear. Obviously, most of his moves from Smash Bros. Are out, and all of his super duper moves and abilities are gone. Now, we have Tekken 1 and 2 to work with. And as fun as it would be to sit here and prattle off a huge list of changes to his moveset, I find it easier to steal a video and show you my changes. And boom, there's your moveset. Also, he loses the tux. Shout out to Drew Tony Z, or Drew Tonys, for the very stealable video. Thank you so much for watching this entire 2-part series. Both these videos took a bit to make, so if you could press that like button, or hell, smash that subscribe button. Either way, bye for now.